my latest issue of Writer's Digest magazine. And where is my kitten-friendly Lane? Right next to it. Hello, friend. I love you. Hello. This is the 10th literary video blog for Kim, the B-word poet. You can follow me on Facebook at Kim B-word poet, on Twitter at B-word poet, and you can find samples of my poetry, short stories, articles, and daily heat section on my website, bwordpoet.wordpress.com. Okay, so I'm sorry I haven't recorded a literary video blog in such a long time, but a lot of stuff has been going on with me personally. I moved and switched jobs, and I have had a couple of things published in the last couple of months. I had an article published in the Gay People's Chronicle in June, and one of my poems did end up getting into the Hester Street Fair poetry book back in May. And I had another poem published. The library that I like to go to, they had a contest for poems to be submitted about their statue, their new symbol. So I got my poem placed in the book that they put out, celebrating all the best poems that people wrote about their symbol. So, and that got published back in April, I believe. So yeah, April, May, and June, I got 2 poems and an article published this year, so that's pretty cool. In addition, like I said, to other things like moving and changing jobs and whatnot. So this blog is about sorry, I had everything set here beside me, and but before I had stopped temporarily doing literary video blogs, I was going to show you these lovely things that I got from the Ashland University. They have this MFA program in poetry and creative nonfiction. It's pretty cool. They sent me some good stuff, a letter talking about their MFA program. I've been kind of sort of going back and forth with, do I really want to do an MFA? Because I've heard good things about having an MFA and bad things about having an MFA, and right now I'm close to getting my bachelor's degree, so I'm starting to think more and more about, do I want to do the MFA or not? I mean, I do eventually want to get my PhD in English. That's the goal. So eventually I'm going to have to think about what I'm going to get my master's in. So I might as well get an MFA. But, Ashland seems okay. It seems like that would be a good choice for me. It would depend on travel and whatnot if I decide to go for their program. But they sent me the MFA program handbook, which was really cool. And hi, kitty. And then they sent me their summer residency, which was for last year, but obviously they're definitely going to have another one this year. I'm actually not sure why they sent me the one from last year, but because I just got this packet back in late February, maybe even early March, so I don't know why they sent me the 2012 summer residency instead of the 2013, but so like I said, I wanted to share that with you because I thought that was cool that I got that. And they're definitely one of the top contenders for my MFA if and when I decide to pursue it. So, Ashland University. Let's say the most recent things I've been deciding is, because with the move and with changing jobs and just all this crazy stuff that's been going on in my life, I've been trying to work out sort of a writing schedule, because the literary game plan that I had for 2013 isn't really going as fast as I hoped. So I need to get on a schedule with my writing. I've sort of gotten my Twitter and my Facebook together as far as what things I want to tweet, what things I want to Facebook, and then the website, I'm going to tweak that a little bit because that needs a little bit of a facelift. So I'm working on that. And but yeah, still just like actually sitting down writing, I haven't really done too much of. And you know, it sucks because I want to, but I always feel like I don't have enough time. So I set aside a schedule, Mondays, Tuesday, something to do every day. And then every other day, like the second and fourth Thursdays or the second and fourth Saturdays, I set aside some time. Lunch breaks, I can write. I don't have to necessarily have this huge block of time to write or to work on things that have already been done. So I'm going to see how that works out, now that I've put myself on a schedule. So I'm going to see how that works out, and hopefully by the time I have another literary blog, things will have been in a steady rhythm, and I will have written some new stuff. Where's my kitty? Okay, but also for this video, I wanted to share with you short story articles that have inspired me over the years. This one is Write the Story You Want to Tell. This was put out by the writer in October 2007. And, basically it's just kind of an uplifting article about, don't write what everybody else tells you should write. Write the story that you want to tell. And I really like that message. This one, The State of the Short Story, this was put out by Writer's Digest in June of 2006. And it's basically just talking about, is the short story market dying or just awaiting arrival? And it talks about the major players in short literary fiction to check its vital signs. And I thought that article was really, really great, because sometimes I kind of wonder if the short story art is dying because there's so much emphasis on writing a book and writing a book and how do you write a book and how do you query an agent for a book. And I'm not a novel writer, I'm a short story writer. So I often wonder, is that art dying? So that article sort of gave me some hope that no, it's not dying. There's still plenty of markets for it and plenty of readers for short stories. The next article was also by Writer's Digest in June 2006, called Piece by Piece, and it was actually putting together carefully a short story collection, which was pretty awesome, because I've gone back and forth if I wanted to have my own short story collection. And much of my earlier stories that I wrote in high school, I probably wouldn't include in a short story collection that I will put out now, just because I was just sort of really beginning writing and really figuring out what stories I wanted to tell. And I was really I read the stories because I like my own stories, but I can definitely tell that they're pretty juvenile. So I basically just keep them there for my own perspective on how I've grown as a writer. But I'd have to write lots more short stories in order to actually put together a collection. But this article sort of taught me how to do that once I got to that point. Then there was also by Writer's Digest in April of 2007, The Power of Titillation, which was, since the erotica trend was climaxing, writers and readers are wondering what constitutes erotica and what it means. And that was a great article because I think there's a lot of confusion over, well, what's erotica, what's porn, what's just romance. So that Writer's Digest article broke down the three, and that was really great that they, focused on erotica in that way, because most places don't focus on erotica at all. Also in Writer's Digest, in the May-June 2010 issue was Romancing the Publishing Industry, why romance is hot and what you need to make it in the romance industry. And I thought that was cool because outside of erotica, a lot of places don't focus on romance either. They're just like, oh, we want something contemporary, something everyone can relate to, and nobody really wants to write, or nobody wants to read or review romance or whatnot. So it kind of sucks when you write romance and erotica. Nobody wants to review it. Nobody wants to take it seriously. They're just like, oh, come to us when you write something contemporary, or something that real writers write. So it's good when Writer's Digest can focus on short stories and themes that a lot of people write, but that the mainstream doesn't really pay attention to. And the final little clip I wanted to share with you of articles, short story articles that have inspired me over the years, comes from the writer, June 2010, in praise of the short story. Why do short story writers persist on writing short stories? And that was really great, a great feel-good article about why do we write short stories? Why do we do what we do? So, yeah. Those are short story articles that have inspired me over the years. And, I talked about the Ashland University and their little mailings to me, which were really, really nice. And my next literary blog, my 11th literary blog, will be magazine writing articles that have inspired me over the years. So thanks for watching.